Hello. Got a different sort of reading for you today. I've been asked to channel a lost child that's passed away. That child is within each of us and has never yet been born. We're seeking the unborn child's guidance for how we can be of service and better parents and to get past the veil between us. The bond between a mother and a child is the greatest bond there ever could be. There's no bounds. They can really get no boundaries. They can step in between because it came about both spontaneously with love and choice, together with all others, and separated, maybe even named. And that's an angel. That's the only angel we've all been waiting for, is for that child to be, so that all can move forward and join our family. The child is telling us that it's scared of being in the dark alone. It looks out the window and sees lens flashes and phantoms, and none look like the loved one or home. The baby says there's too many rules. And we have to get there together. And just as the soul hovers over the body at death, this soul has been hovering over all of us since the beginning of time. Libra, Aquarius, form, all, it. Why? Why are we here? Only you know. As a father without any children, I myself am plagued with understanding the amazing bond between a mother and the children, and also the magical bond. As a father, especially a stepfather, one could perfectly be that, equal with the child, and the dad, and the mom, and the leader, and the who cares? You're just so and so. And have all that control and none at all. If the mother refuses to grow with her husband, with the man, and the children too, in the unity, then she's the one holding it all back. And keeping the family from its elegance. As a scorpion tail, balancing and controlling without controlling. Playing the victim, always having the way out, to lead everyone around as a fool, and never having to face herself either. Able to put it on everyone, and how can she hold the spot and hold it all up too, without a man to prove that she's true also, and too. Then it's like gluttony. It's too much freedom. And we all know what too much freedom is. If it doesn't bring us back to someplace similar to this, or in togetherness, or bringing it all together somehow as a reason for all the suffering and all that is. Where all things in the world go together. I can perfectly explain it. But what good is that? There is a purpose to it. And I can and probably will. But that's beside the point. I mean, that's one way up the pyramid. And down the other side too. But we need a new story. And each is a new story. There's a hump that's never gotten past. It has to do with how it began, how we're here, why the confusion, how to move forward. As a father or child, a mother, pregnant, or an individual separated from everyone. And at that spot too, reminded to always trust our instincts. But we have to have enough up top to really make them work together. Because there's not two. And what's in? It says trust your gut. I do. You have a natural propensity. And you all have the inner drive, an impulse, intuitive in the sixth sense. I'm trying to lead and guide the best I can. Is that point in that place, separately, together for you. Alone with two crazy cats. Aquarius. Virgo. We can balance that too. Now, we need to move past the divine. It's all divine. We're trying to create divine that we're all attached to. We got Pope Joan, the pontiff of possibilities. The possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. So it's not tethered onto one specific thing in the past, like our mom or our dad or God. Ultimately, is this thing that's the problem of human beings, because that is that which we are, and not, and two, and the less we know, the better off we are, and the more we know, the more we have to double back and come around too, and each solution creates 10 more problems. Each problem uh, must have been meaning to happen to cause development and growth. At some point, there's too much chaos, and trying to have all the solutions is too much focus and order. And so it's getting each of our hearts to the right place and raising the vibration, keeping us all focused and out of fear and trusting in ourselves. Because if anything, God must always be here and around, but sometimes bad things happen. And sometimes we pray and there's no answer. And what we're told is the devil ends up saving us, or at least getting us over the hump. And so the concept of getting over God, getting past God, getting through God, imbuing each other with this, and starting the true lineage where history has to do with everyone dying for God. But what God? But God is all there is. But we're all that is separately. And nobody's been able to start it off yet. Everybody's been, if they're on a pedestal, they're the problems and left the trail of blood. But what blood? They're dead. It's all in words, and anybody can magic spell that shit up. And if they did that, it would have to point towards one thing. And that one thing would have to figure out how to fix all that shit. And all those that were slaughtered or got to live to see their old ages. Their blood, yeah. They're of our blood. And they bled all the way to our doorstep, trying to find a way that we could all renew. If we run away now, what else is there for another generation, another and another, of people who are apart and together, and none knew, none could, but every had to. So there has to be a new beginning upon a place, a new name, a word, and somehow exchange it across this veil and balance of the universe, of the mind and the body, and the trusting of each other, and this ultimate love, and knowing that, hey, we can each sit here and watch a movie and make fun of the characters on the screen, and then be like, oh, I want to be with that one. I want to be that one too. Oh, that one's silly. Hey, Gene Simmons, I don't know about him, but Kiss was pretty cool. And I had my first kiss to that song. And we were into Kiss then. But now we can watch him with his family on TV. But then we see he's just silly. And like us. But totally different. Look what fame does to people. But we're all thinking about that first kiss. And it might be attached to, oh, that song was playing. How to get there and stay. On one floor, on one plank, and nobody's walking off it because there's no sea floor, and we got to keep on laying. In the face of fear, we have yes. Just say yes. Yes. And we do. Learning to trust. That yes leads to advancing. Prince Kang used a gift of horses to breed a multitude. In the course of a day, he mated them 3 times. Today I realized how infinite money is. From here, there's any possible way to go. But if it's not attached of us together, on me and my friends and those I care about that have been there for me apart too, then what good is it to get to a place of no place and be at the other end with all the money, all the angel on the Christmas tree or laying under it, and just being the idiot that ends up like seems there's no way to really compare, but we all know what that's like at some point in our life, right? Where do you place your trust? What feels true to you? I am that I am right now with you, for, and I'm alone. I'm never alone. I came to experience and to give experience, to learn and to be taught and to develop. And make sure there was no ending once I left. And there was an ending that had to come true, and that is exactly why I came. As there are no mistakes in life, only choices. Carefully weighing pros and cons, choosing wisely between different options. How can we make the perfect cut? Libra and Pisces. 2 fish on the scales, balancing each other. And the merchant and the ground against its own scale too. How could we pick? Selectivity is what comes for us. And we give exactly what was needed. Like, who needs a barter if each of us is providing? The greatest victory is won without engaging in battle, planning, or policy making, designed to achieve a victory condition. Gemini, Aquarius. Walk on water. 2. The Lovers. All is right. And left is left, right out too. Can't lose our confidence or our humor in this journey, especially when the odds are against us and things are looking pretty ugly. It didn't been few. Didn't been foo. Believe in yourself, especially when you're at your weakest. And you've already won. But that's only half of that. So we already won. We knew that. Then winning is up to the other end to help it come true. We have to believe in each other in this vision. It's beyond the story of the past, and to make it come true too. For each and every. So much better. And unified, separately, in the universal unity of at humanity, but we all know there's no words to describe it exactly. It's really just a feeling. And everything dances around it that's in words. Trust and conviction, self-reliance and feeling, certainty of one's abilities. We got the sun. We got Leo. And we have Cancer. It's the opposite of Pisces. It's more like the lens. And the sun, Leo. You should think of burning ants. We're kids, but holding on to that and sending a ray wherever we go, or everything that connects it, focuses it better. And you're kind of like Indiana Jones and putting the gems up so the light will blow the door open, but the door is already blown open. How do we all link our lights? Like the Olympics, but more like the chain without the chain. We don't need a chain. We need a linkage, a lineage. Everyone tied together through our souls and our love and our being to create a new world where no one's sacrificed. And we all are it. And we never have to go without. And we can share in our experiences. And then there's a greater experience that we all join in together that's like the history and all the versions of God and ourselves as psychology, and each religion is different but about the same thing, and each culture is equal and distant apart and true to this higher self that was, but each of us has to be and imbue to create a new Christmas chain of lights without the dark, and all be connected, have a new world, a new self, a new being, a new way, and it all live in constant renewal. To have humor. Yeah. And when to draw a line to somewhere, obviously that ends up being the asshole that pointed it out to themselves, but went against themselves and looks like the devil too, you know? Like any religious book and the guy who wrote it, or any guy that stand in front of the congregation with the book, and everyone else already had the book and they came there to be together, but they were already together and he's living there for free, separately, and the humor of that situation each of us is in. Many a true word can be spoken in jest, comical expression, amusing mannerisms, or speech to incite mirth. We have Sagittarius, the wounded healer, which is also like Krishna and Arjuna riding together, trapped in the middle of the battle in the Mahabharata, in the Gita, with Krishna in as God divided, riding as an advisor. And Arjuna can never miss, but he's riding, leading the battle. But he doesn't want a battle because he doesn't want to see anybody die. And both sides and factions are his family. And he can't miss. So, what the fuck's he going to do? How's he going to mediate this without getting anybody killed? And he can't act like he can't put God down either and be like, well, you know, if I step out, if I can't miss, then who am I aiming at? Am I the chicken shit? And what does that make God look like? So how do we stop this war from happening if I got God here with me and I can't miss? And what's God fucking doing? If God can't mediate this shit to make sure that nobody dies, that otherwise everybody's blue. And we have enough Vishnus and Krishnas. We just need each to be themselves and to be true, not trapped in a culture or a specific way, flowing and being and in renewal, and able to escape and to understand those past concepts is the dead ground. The only thing that can lead us all forward to get back together. Because everyone died for that stuff. Hey, we're all alive. So we owe it to them. Otherwise, what the hell are we all here for? 8 billion of us. And we still have these, everything's built itself up to here. And there's been no new door handle on love. And this connection between God and man wrote the story of God, but then some other weird shit happened, and then it got confusing. So then they just had to set it all apart, all aside, and whatever happens, happens. But shit, that ain't good. That ain't gonna work either. So how do we bring about the point and get us all past it too? Especially if you came here And I need you. Which I do. But you needed me, apparently. Otherwise, how did we get here? I'm trying to find a way to bridge that gap. I'm running out of tape, so I have to stop this. There's no new words for what I want to say. And to come up with something, it seemed like I'm cheating and being untrue. So here we are. And as it is, one step at a time, faithfully, this is.